100%. We would literally text his iPod first. And if it didn't see deliver, because he wasn't in Wi-Fi, we would text his normal phone to get a hold of him.
That was like a really good era for music, I think, and that really drew us towards like that electronic scene. It kind of all shifted from there, I think, and just seeing that what they could achieve, like we can do the same. So
the first two like mixes are kind of like, can we get through those two, please? And then we're flowing,
What is up, everybody, and welcome to the Mindful Mayhem podcast. And we're just going to get right into it. We have two amazing guests who we've had the pleasure of knowing in our previous club life era.
From seeing them DJ at some of the lovely Chicago staples, including Joy District, Hubbard Inn, Prism, Chop Shop, Radius, The Salt Shed,
And even the wonderful Basement and Rock Bar.
Oh, yeah.
They've gone on to play tons of shows, land on festival lineups, and open for artists such as Tchami, Twin, Flume, Disco Lines, and so many more. And now tomorrow's A Craze show at Recess, to name a few.
They released so much music over the years, including songs like Foolish, Hypnotherapy, Poison, a recent EP, Nonstop, with Sherm, and their top hit, Get Down, while making remixes of two of the hottest tracks, Ain't No Other Man and Mac Miller's Ladders.
We are so happy and lucky to introduce two best friends turned house music baddies traveling the world. Please welcome Mike and Dom, also known as PODS.
Thank you.
quite an intro.
What an intro. Much appreciated.
Happy to be
Lovely
here.
intro, right?
That was brought back a lot of memories.
We're
How's
excited
it
to be here.
going?
It's good, yeah. We're really happy to be here. I'm glad we could all get together. I mean, this is something we were talking about a few months back, so now we're here, and thanks for having us.
Long time coming.
talked
about
We're
it.
so happy.
Talked about on the way here, too. We go back.
Yeah,
We go back
it
to
feels
Joy
like just
District.
yesterday we were down in the clubs doing our thing, and now you guys
absolutely.
are doing all these bigger, better things. Like you just had a show at Concord.
Yep, we did.
That was amazing.
That's
We were
wicked.
with Noizu. That was our first time playing there, too, so it was definitely a bucket list we were able to check off. So
Yeah, solid
that was-
Chicago.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was awesome, but yeah,
We saw that.
a lot of memories with you guys.
Absolutely. Well, we're just gonna get right into it, and we're just gonna get heavy into the trauma already.
Let's do it. Let's talk about it.
No,
Seep into the mayhem.
let's rewind back because I know you guys have been friends since preschool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Preschool. So,
correct.
what was the relationship and friendship like back then, and how did you guys turn into PODS?
Yeah, I mean, we literally go as far as we can remember. We went to St. Emily's grade school in the suburbs out in Mount Prospect, and we're best friends ever since that first day of preschool from when I can remember. And just over the years, like, we just became like closer and closer, and then we found that we both have a love for house music and everything. So just like through our college experiences and everything like that, we were able to put our love of music towards this like project and idea we had. And it's just been kind of foot on the gas from there. And I think after COVID, that's when we really started, like, we want to start playing in the city and at venues. And yeah, it's just been, like I said, foot on the gas from there.
It's been easy, too. I mean, today, I see his backyard from mine.
Oh, wow.
So,
cute.
it is, we are, I see him more than my family. 100%.
Well, you are family, basically, at
Literally.
this point.
Yeah.
Different blood, 100% though. No, it's been the easiest, it's been the most fun project I've ever done.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just been so free flowing. I mean, it's been a blast. I mean, he covered most of it, but we've been best friends since you can remember.
Yeah.
And it's never going to change. So.
Which one of you popped the question to be like, hey, we should do this?
Yeah.
He got on one knee. No. I remember the moment. I was at school, literally in my room, and I was in the scene at school, and then he was like making music, and he's like, "Why don't we just start our own?" And it was literally a text, and it was simple as yes. And obviously, we started aligning our goals and what we wanted to do, and it was the easiest transition.
How old were you guys when you did this?
I think it was junior year of college.
Right
so
before we turned 21.
Yeah.
Before we
Oh,
actually got to be able to go to bars and stuff.
In the
Yeah.
clubs?
Yeah. Literally,
Like, we're
literally.
going to do the clubs the right way.
Yeah,
exactly.
starting from the bottom, but now we're here.
Exactly.
exactly. But
So-
yeah, it was like I was making more like hip hop beats just for fun. That's just something I grew up enjoying to do. And then like Hugh always expressed interest. So the idea just came together like over weeks at a time. And I'm like, you know what? Like we see all these people at Lollapalooza. That was a big inspiration. Like Louis the Child, they were a big inspiration to like, let's just try it and see where it goes. So that's kind of how everything started from there.
I haven't looked back.
Yeah.
What is the meaning behind PODS itself?
Oh, gee, that's,
Do you want to give it? Or?
yeah. I'll give it. So freshman year of high school, I had an iPod Touch, and that's how I was in group chats. Like I didn't have an iPhone yet, and our other best friend, who we grew up with, he just started calling me PODS like out of nowhere, and like when we started making music and all of that, it was like, okay, now we have to think of a name, and PODS just like it just kind of stuck out right away.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was literally as simple as an iPod Touch. So
Yeah.
shout out that iPod Touch.
Very
You're
nostalgic.
like you, me, iPod Touch.
we would
iMessage on my iPod, yeah.
we would literally text his iPod first, and if it didn't see deliver, because he wasn't in Wi-Fi, we would text his normal phone to get a hold of him. So it just had a meaning behind it, and we were just like, just a great alias.
kinda flows.
You know,
That's
it's
sick.
simple, easy.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, just-
Well, and it brings your childhood that you had
Exact-
together into
exactly.
this
Yeah,
project, which is
exactly.
super cool.
I mean, we still call him, like all of our friends call him Pods too. And sometimes I had to get used to it too for a while because, you know, like nowadays people would be like Pods referring to both of us. Even my friends, I'd turn around and be like, oh no, you're talking to Mike. Never mind. So yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Tell us about that Lala moment. We did some research, and Lala 2014
That
was
the
your
year.
kind of aha moment. Like, what set were you at? What were you feeling in that moment? What was that? What did that look like?
Louis the Child.
Yeah.
2014 Lollapalooza, Louis the Child changed the way we looked at music, at least in my eyes. Just their sound, everything they did, being the hometown kids. They went to New Trier, right down the road from where we live.
Yeah.
You know, it was just that chilling moment of like, we could do this. You know,
Yeah.
like we want to do this. And then we went to their Friendsgiving that they had at Aragon after, and it was just a done deal from there. They were a huge inspiration.
Yeah, just seeing like them at that age and like them being like the producers that they are, we kind of just took a lot of inspiration. Like, okay, if they can do this, like we can do this, and let's just see how far we can take it, type of thing. But like they're like that future bass era when they were like really massive, with like It's Strange, like those songs that was like a really good era for music, I think, and that really drew us towards like that electronic scene. So it kind of all shifted from there, I think, and just seeing that what they could achieve, like we can do the same. So
Yeah.
yeah.
What has been your guys' favorite city to play in outside of Chicago, if you've had the chance?
Yeah.
I went to school in Arizona, so we played with Tchami down in Arizona.
Oh, sick.
And it was obviously like, 'cause I had my fraternity at school. So like that was just a really full circle moment for me because I was our social chair, and that's when I really got introduced to everything. Like our first booking was We Thin, we had 4B, we've had Slander, and like I was like, this is awesome. You know, like I want to be making this music. Like seeing, you know, the effect you have on the crowd when you play that type of music and people love it. You know, like I want people to reign with that also. And that's when, you know, he obviously reached out to me. I'm like, we're doing this. But playing in Arizona, it was just a full circle moment for me. And I love the state outside of Illinois. It's my favorite state.
Yeah, you were that guy there.
It was so fun. It was, they hit us up
sick.
like, hey, do you want to come play with Chom? I was like, yeah, no questions asked. We're there 100%. So that was cool. And then, I mean, are you going to say Miami?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
just
got it.
played Miami for the first time.
Hey.
So this past music
For
week,
Music
Yeah.
Week,
it
yeah.
was
was
so
crazy.
much fun.
Yeah.
It was awesome. We didn't know what to
Actually
expect
peeped
really,
that,
but like we were there. I think it was 3 or 4 days, just like Tuesday to Friday. But we were doing something every single.
Was that your first music week?
Yeah, yeah. So,
So-
Next is Ultra, but
hell
that was,
yeah.
Yeah,
in terms of
100%.
just attending, we haven't even attended it.
Or
But-
playing.
Well,
We're putting that into the future
too.
for
Yeah,
you.
yeah, for sure, 100%. Thank
it's
you.
on the bucket list. But
Manifested. Thank you.
So walk us through Miami Music Week. Like, when were you guys playing, and when were you guys having fun, and what did it look like?
we got there
When's
Tuesday. Tuesday, and then Wednesday we had a set at 1-800 Lucky, if you guys know that venue. It's a cool area. They have like a record shop up front, and then it's like a sushi place in back, and then it's like
sick.
a courtyard with a booth and everything. And there were some really good shows there. So it was with Retail Records, Black V-Neck. They have their labels, so they invited us to come out and be a part of the showcase they had. And then Thursday we were with, they're called Dialed Records. They're newer, they're smaller, but they have a really good thing going, and they invited us to play on this. It was like a pretty massive yacht, but it was like, it was docked the entire time, but it was like a smaller private party, but it was so much fun just being like all day on a nice boat like that. And then we just went to, where we go?
Space.
Space.
We had to check out
Town.
Space. Saw Fisher like early morning.
Yeah. What time did you leave Space?
Well,
That's
some of our friends woke up like really early and went, like maybe took a nap, and then went. We wanted to be a little bit more ready for our set too, so we slept in a little bit more. But we left like what, 9-ish, 9:30, and we're there till like 12. Till like our set was at 12 on the boat, which was right down the street. So we basically were there at like 11:30, 11:45.
This is AM, PM?
AM. We're talking.
Okay.
So
I was figuring
it was
about
morning session.
it was
giving
this
you
was-
that safe,
Yeah. Sun was the sun was up. They had breakfast. That whole thing.
Yeah, I've heard time doesn't really exist there.
No, yeah, you get lost for sure. You'll have no
We
idea.
were still going
Yeah.
the night before, and
wow.
saw some people who we knew who were like going there the night before. I'm like, you guys have been here for
Yeah.
12 hours at least.
And
Wait,
then-
you guys just added a yacht show here, though, didn't you? Okay.
Did.
Yep.
So is that like kind of going to be a stationary thing on Lake Michigan, or what is that?
No, that's going around. It's going the river and then the lake too. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I think it's like
Yeah.
4 hours or so, three and a half or something, the whole duration. We have two people going back to back before us, and then we'll end the set on the boat, kind of going around the river, and then it'll dock.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
super cool.
It's
As
gonna be
Chicago locals,
I might
like
have
to
to
have
go
a
there,
set.
yeah.
No, we're going.
We're going.
You know what? We'll be
Yeah, if you want to come, let us know.
May 23rd.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
next
sounds
week, you
sick.
guys. Next week.
Yeah.
That's super sick.
It kicks off the kind of the summertime shy too. So
Yes.
Yes.
we're excited for it.
Down
Absolutely.
the river is sick.
Yeah, yeah.
That's super cool. So you guys have a lot of big headlining events coming. I mean, you've already done things in the burbs, on house calls. You've done Bollywood. Now that you're back doing North Coast 15th year anniversary, that's super
I know
cool.
you're excited about it too.
Oh yeah, I love North Coast. But is this like a full circle moment for you guys, getting all these cool in the city opportunities?
For sure. I mean, it just reminds you like why you do this. It's that fulfillment,
Yeah.
like sometimes when, it's the peaks and valleys, you work really hard. Sometimes you don't get what you want, it happens. And then when you do, it's like, it just reminds you why you work so hard for everything. And with those late nights, the no sleep sometimes, it's so fulfilling. And we're so excited to be back. We loved that festival. We were there last time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Especially starting from like Parlay and like
Yeah.
Jordan.
Yeah.
It's always been a part of the vision, but now
Yeah.
we're like starting to get a taste of like what we envisioned from the start. And
Yeah.
it's just like a lot of leveling up and stepping stones. Like when we first got booked for Joy District, we thought it was like the coolest thing
Yeah.
ever. And which was like a really big opportunity to like get in the circuit and everything. And now we're just continuing to like try and level up each year. So I think this summer is going to be probably our best, and I'm excited.
Yeah.
I mean,
for it.
I always think about Rock Bar Basement too.
Yeah. So you kind of got to start with the basement, and then
yeah.
it's parlay,
That's
and there's tears to
Playing the
this.
4-hour set till close, and then now we get a daytime set on the house stage at North Coast.
Yeah.
Again, you just look back and you're like, it just feels so good. It's like all that extra work you put in. So.
Well, and North Coast, like you guys were saying how Lala was kind of that starting point. I mean, this is a tier below, I'd say, when it comes to Chicago Festival. So
Most definitely.
manifesting again next year for you guys.
I will cry.
Lala's,
Yeah.
it's
I
coming.
will cry.
Yeah, it'll come.
That is our like bucket list Chicago goal.
It's like
is
top
that,
of the top.
that
top of the
childhood.
list.
You go to Lollapalooza, you're like, I want to play here so bad.
Yeah.
So
Do you guys feel like playing Chicago shows is more pressure than when you guys are out of state playing shows?
great question.
Yeah. Yes and no. I think it depends the venue,
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
and I guess the type of show. Because sometimes we have to play like softer sets, and then sometimes we just like get down and and dirty with it. But yeah, I mean, there's pressure when it comes to like Radius. Usually that's a little more pressure, just how big the stage is and everything. But when it's like a smaller, I don't know, like a rooftop set or something, just with our friends, like that's when those are sometimes the most fun. But we try and treat everything as like same level wise, and like what we play and how we play, we just kind of have fun with it every time. That's really all that matters.
Playing a venue for the first time gets, it's like, I wouldn't say anxiety. It's just like anxiousness of like, I really want to play it, and we have something to prove too, being there for the first time also. But I think out of state is just a little more pressure because we're just trying to expand so much more. So, making a lot more of like being in Miami was like, we really have to put our foot forward as far as we can to make a name out here, to be able to come back here, So out of state, I think a little bit more. I mean, I think we, in a way, like we're just so comfortable here. It's like our city in a way. So I think out of state just a little bit more, just because where we're trying to reach.
Yeah. Put the
Good first
footprint.
impression.
Yeah. I figured being here would make more pressure if I was a DJ, because I'd be like, oh my God, everybody knows me, and I have to make it, I don't know.
That's another thing too. I mean, we always talk about, no one wants to see you fail in the crowd. They're all here to also, like, we want to gig, we want to dance, like we want to see you succeed. So that's something we always have to remind ourselves, like they're here to see us succeed, so we're going to kill it. And, but it brings that, that anxiousness of like, first time playing somewhere, there's a lot more people. When we played Radius one time, I remember looking up and I was like, whoa.
Just imagine
That was
everyone
the
in their
most amount of people
underwear.
at that time we've ever played it from. I looked down, I'm like, whoa. I'm like, wow.
Went from like we had the door slot, so like it was no one, and then like next thing you know, it's like 4,000 people.
The people fill that place quick.
Yeah, it was like back to the bathrooms back there. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
That's sick.
You guys look up real quick.
Exactly.
That's one of those moments where when you're a kid, they're like, oh, just imagine everyone's in their underwear.
Yeah,
And you're like,
literally.
this is harder than I remembered it.
That's basically how someone had to tell us, like, no one wants to see you fail. Like, it's that, like they're in their underwear out there, like that's a
But
great
then you
analogy.
see like your friend during the day set and you're like, all right, wait, these are my people. We're good. Yeah.
Exactly.
There are many times where it'll be like mid-set, and I'll just literally say to Dom, I'm like, there's bodies out there. It's filled up so quick at times. Like Concord it felt like 5 minutes, and it was jam-packed.
Bumping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We always wondered what DJs thought on stage, but
Very good people watching.
people watching.
That's our favorite part of it.
And there's times too we'll just kind of talk. People are like, what are you talking about up there? I'm like, literally anything sometimes. Obviously when we're in the moment, like certain music stuff, but there are times we like look to the right side, like look at that view over there. Like we just have this conversation sometimes. It's great.
You have prime totem viewing.
Yes, 100%.
That's like the best part.
Yes, 100%.
And it's fun that there is two of you. So it's not like, I feel like there would be more of an anxiety if it's like alone with your own thoughts, but like to be able to bounce those ideas and like laughs off each other is probably refreshing.
For sure. We talk about that too, how like, imagine if we had to do this alone, like in the moment, like thank God we have each other for this right now.
Yeah.
There's been like one set where he got really sick the day of, and I had to play it by myself, and I was not a fan of it. I was like, it just feels weird.
Yeah.
Well, what's PODS without the two P's?
Exactly. I remember he texted me immediately after. It was like I was sitting there. I'm like, he texted me like, I didn't like that. And I was like, you've just finished. I was like, wow. Yeah. So,
Like you did it, but like
hopefully-
we will try not to do that again.
hopefully never again.
Yeah.
When it comes to that, to bounce into another thing, like how do you guys tackle creativity? And with growing together at such a young age, how do you expand your creativity as you get older? Like, have you ever had a crossroads when it comes to making music and the style you want to go for?
Great question.
Yeah, it's always like a growing creative process. That's what we've realized over the years. But I mean, growing up together, it's so easy to work with each other just because we know how each other operates and certain like tendencies we have and like strengths and weaknesses. So I think just we really have a good workflow with the production itself. And then when it comes to like building DJ sets, like we are very on the same page of how we want the vibe to go, like bring it up and down and all of that. But there's never been moments of like clashing or just like bitching at each other, stuff like that. It's just been a consistent, steady, like common ground that we have.
That's cool.
When it comes to the creative process. And we love bouncing ideas off of each other and kind of like turning those ideas into like new ideas. It's a whole process, but it's very easy to work with each other.
Yeah, I mean, just from earlier saying how like being best friends and doing this, like there's been no hitch in our step, the whole way through. And like Mike said, like we know each other's strengths and weaknesses, so we keep the strengths to each other's strengths, and where our weaknesses come together, we work heavily together on it. You know what I mean? And we're always obviously trying to perfect the craft, and we always keep the eyes and ears open of everybody else. We're always taking notes. We're always here for constructive criticism, and I think that's the biggest way to like evolve your sound. Be able to be told what's not good or what's your strength here in your music and what you need to work on. And that's something as we grow, like looking back on music, we just did it recently, like a year or two ago, we're like, wow, we used to sound like that. Like, so it's a real easy workflow. I think what makes us be able to take, that step up every time. We just feed off each other so easily.
Was there a switch up or any kind of mindset before you guys started to now, like, and what actually making it feels like? Like before you guys get started or with any project, it's like, well, I'm going to be the best, biggest thing. Yeah. But now you guys have like integrated yourselves. Like, was there any change up or you guys have the same mindset kind of?
For me, at least starting off, like he started producing heavily and I was more like the DJ scene and like, booking DJs and all that. So for me, finishing college and especially right now, like I've switched my mind to strictly producing and like perfecting our craft on that side of things, because that's what's going to reach most people. They resonate with our music. So that's where my mind switched to, where I like to say, like, we know how to DJ, but it's always getting better at our music. And I think there's times, there's peaks and valleys with this. And there's moments that are like feeling like, the making it type of feel, but there's always more work to be done. We're never satisfied, but I think, like the Concord show, like that felt so good. That felt like exactly what we wanted. Yeah. It was the crowd we wanted. It was bumping in there. Noizu was great. It just reminds you like, this is what we wanted. And that's what, I think those are the moments that push you the hardest. 100%. Yeah,
definitely a marathon idea. That's like you hear the marathon, not a sprint, saying a lot. That's something we've really we're trying to every year just like continue with that mindset, because if people want overnight success, they're going to be chasing that every time, and that's very rare that happens, especially in this scene and how many people are like DJing now and all of that. So it's really just focusing in on the music and just getting like 1% better each day type of thing. So yeah.
Some people, go into it with like, I'm going to make just a couple tracks, heavy hit, and just kind of ghost or not really actually enjoy the whole process. So it's really enjoyable hearing how much you guys do stand behind your work, and you guys are your own worst critics when looking at your old music, but I'm sure,
all the time.
It's great, and there's always room for growth, and sounds are always changing, and old sounds from 10 years ago are coming back now.
Yeah.
So, maybe the old tracks will pop off again,
You never know. You never know.
With TikTok, you never know. And we were at some of your first sets, and I was always having a good time.
Oh, thank you.
I always liked it when you guys were working my shifts and stuff.
I was
like,
like,
yes.
That's awesome.
Especially because we were newer, it was like you two were people that when we would work together, we're like, okay, wait, we fuck with them. All right, let's get into it. We're gonna probably get into trouble tonight. Have fun.
Same thing too. Whenever we like play Joy or Rock, we're like, I wonder if Taylor will be there. Like, hopefully someo's there. We know. Like, it was like you two. So that's a full
like
circle
a home
moment.
base.
Yeah, literally.
That's sick.
It's awesome.
Oh my gosh! And now look at us.
Here we are.
It's awesome.
Well, you guys do have the playground show at Recess coming up, where you're opening up for A Craze. Are any of our listeners coming? Let's see. Leave a comment below.
Come on by.
But this really is our kickoff, aside from that boat show, into Chicago summer. Yeah. And do you have any like tidbits that you'd like to share with fun things other than those that you have coming up?
We're still waiting on confirmation for a few. We don't want to like jinx anything. So that's something like where we've ran into the past when we were starting out, is like telling people about shows. And it doesn't happen. We're like, oh God. That Recess one is going to be a lot of fun, though. I literally saw a clip of this last Sunday. They had one, and the caption was like Chicago people are defrosting now. So I think it's the perfect time to jump into that like spring summer transition. So and we've never played Recess either.
Yeah, they more recently turned it into a music venue. I want to say there's only been maybe 2 shows there.
Yeah,
I actually
totally
went to
makes
the
sense.
first one.
How was it?
It was actually really cool. There's like a seated area in the center, and so it's kind of like a platform, and everyone stands around you, which is really, really cool. So you'll get to have that bird's eye view of everybody.
Nice.
Yeah, it's sick.
That'll be a good show.
It's got a big outdoor area. I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, hopefully the weather holds up. But
Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of rain or shine season. Like people are just sending.
Yeah,
that's true.
If there's a sprinkle of sun, I'm out there.
100%, especially now. But I wish there was a few things we could kind of talk about what's upcoming. It's just nothing set in stone yet, but hopefully some things to announce that you guys will see.
Probably be doing some like more pop-up type events.
cool.
I think that's something we want to tap into this summer is like those like Pods and Friends type events. So just keep an eye out for those, whether it's like, I mean, you see all these coffee shop pop-ups now. And then like the rooftops. So I think that's something we're going to really tap into this summer.
Yeah, you guys jumped ahead on us for the Pods and Friends.
I
But
guess you
talking
blame
about
that.
it, what is the concept behind Pods and Friends? Is it, what brought it out to life for you guys?
It was just like, it was an idea we've always thought of having, but we didn't want it to be in like the normal club setting type of thing. So the first one we did was at Kismet Studios. I think they're taking a break right now from like hosting events, but it was just a local art studio in like Wicker Park that our friends, they ran it all. So it was like the perfect little back room, and then they had like, it's almost one of those like photo shoot areas. They have like different themes and like blocks and stuff. But we really just wanted to like put on a good event with our friends that are also like on the rise, on the come up, and just really get like almost like a house party feel, where it's not like you don't have to go buy a drink at a bar type of thing. You could like, it's like a BYOB type of thing. Really just kind of change it up from like our normal shows. That's something we really wanted to emphasize, is like you're not just going to a club like any other night. And the lineups were always specially crafted. So we're excited to like, the more people we've met throughout the industry now, the more we can build these out and just make it better and better each year.
Biggest thing was, the biggest part of doing Pods and Friends was also to, get the Chicago artists out there as well, like including us. Like this city is obviously, you guys know, is so rich with house music. They don't care who's playing, to the point where like we just want house music, and like that's where we want to put more artists on if we possibly can. You know what I mean? And having some of our friends on there, having our friends come, it's such a like family type of event. So we really want to get back to those, especially this summer, and just really start emphasizing the Chicago scene. I think that's the biggest part of it.
Well, before we get into our next segment, we're going to take a short break. We're going to get a little fun. We're going to get to know you guys outside of just being Pods. So when you guys aren't Pods, what are you guys doing? What's your hobby? What does a day-to-day look like?
9 to 5s immediately. We're in our 9 to 5s. But outside of that, I've gotten him into golf a lot more, and he's gotten me into a lot of like more combat sports. So we're huge into UFC, boxing world.
Okay.
We even did we did training a little bit for it, just to train on it.
Just in case.
Yeah, and just to get in shape. Like it's strictly for what it's for. But golfing is a huge, massive hobby for me. And then obviously we play basketball, men's league. We're just huge sports people. Let's just cut to the chase there.
Yeah.
The sports are like our biggest getaway from everything, at least for myself. And golfing is the biggest therapeutic thing for me, next to music. But outside of music, you can find me on a golf course.
Golf is in its era right now.
Yeah, it is. And it's crazy because I used to play in high school and stuff, and I'd be like, "Oh, you play golf?
Yeah.
How about now?
Like,
How about
gone
now?
pro.
All of you getting clubs. All of you want to come play now. It's crazy. Yeah, that's funny.
Hey, I can hit it down the fairway at Topgolf. So.
That's all you need.
Hey, it is the moment though, and with the weather, it's kind of nice lately.
Yeah.
A men's league, though. Is that like a weekly?
Basketball, yeah.
Basketball,
Just
yeah.
once a week. We literally play with like kids we went to grade school with. So we have a very like small circle, but we've known these kids since preschool. So
Yeah.
A lot of
yeah,
preschool.
we just
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
St. M's Gems. Yeah, preschool, it goes very far back. We are a tight
cool.
group.
But yeah, we've been playing basketball since 4th grade together, so we just keep it going, and we'll take down your favorite DJ. You can say that.
we have playoffs
Security,
next week too.
what?
That's a good skill to have considering your job titles. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. But we love just being low key, ordering a bunch of food, watching sports all night. Like that is our serenity outside of music, 100%.
Typical dude.
Exactly, 100%.
How about your top favorite artists when you were starting versus now? Like big 3.
Starting out, obviously Lewis Child, just because they were such a big inspiration. Man, that's a loaded question.
That is
Mac Miller
going back.
Like,
yeah,
on the rap side of things. I really like Foster the People. Like they were like
OG classic.
yeah, they were at Lala too that one year. But like now it's just like
now it's
a lot of house people. I mean, Chris Lake is top of the game right now.
he's Don.
Who?
I said he's the Don.
Oh,
100%.
I was like, Don.
No,
Don
sorry.
Dalla?
He's the Don.
Julio?
For me, I kind of like pair these 3 almost like in a group together, like Abo, Omnom, Odd Mob. Their sound is just so distinct. It's so good.
Crispy.
Yeah, it's their bass lines. I would see them any day of the week, 3 times a day. Like they are a huge inspiration, at least for us right now. Just on the way they produce music and it's so good. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you have anyone else?
No, that's.
I mean, we could have a list.
Yeah.
100%.
Miami was a good. We were able to see a lot of some more like underground people. That was like a good chance to see these people live because they don't come to Chicago often. So, but yeah, I mean, it's changing. Like the sound keeps changing every year. It feels like, or every month.
Yeah.
But love where House is at right now, like in general as a sound. So
Also, we listen to a lot of Beltron. A lot of Beltron. He is killing the game right now too.
Yeah.
So those are people we live by right now.
I'm kind of not gonna lie. The only song I know is "Smack Yo."
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
It's a fantastic one.
that's what put him on. Put him on the map really, really hard. So, but yeah, it's changing. It constantly changes.
So looking ahead then, what is a dream collaboration for you guys to have?
This year, I would love to collab with Goodfella. We met him in Miami. Great guy.
Is he a good fella?
Yeah, it's
Phenomenal
good
fellow.
one. Nice one. He would be great this year. A long run we've been talking about recently. Vandalux would be really cool. We played with him at Lincoln Hall. Just the most down to earth dude. But his sound is just aligns a little bit more with what we want to do and where we want to go. So that would be a real heartwarming collaboration, 100%.
Yeah, more like tech house side of things. Biscuits,
Yeah.
I think would be fun. We've played with him a few times now, and he's like the nicest guy ever. And we love where his sound is heading right now. It's very, very distinct. Like you can kind of tell when a Biscuit song comes on, and then like Gene Ferris with like the Chicago status, that would be up there too. There's a long list. Like we write down a list every year, like start of the year, for kind of goals or collaboration ideas, and it's super long. So we could go on and on, but
Manifestation work.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Gene Ferris is doing that back-to-back with Jay Wara at Taste of
we
Random.
talk about it on the way down here.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, all right, bye.
Probably catch us there 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, no, he's awesome. He's done a lot for the Chicago scene, and he's just super nice guy too.
So these questions I'm going to ask you individually. That doesn't mean you guys are in a headlock. You guys can chime in whenever if it's not for you. But Dom, we'll start easy. Daytime set or nighttime set?
Daytime.
Okay. Mike, disco or deep house?
Deep house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Always the deep house, Maddie. You know.
Yeah, for real. Dom, back to you.
Okay.
What's one thing that still gets you nervous before a show?
The first two transitions of our set, 100%. Because once you get through, mixing out of the other artist, and then you get your flow, set up the board how you want it, and then you do your first mix in, you really settle in. So the first two mixes are kind of like, can we get through those two, please? And then we're flowing,
And then Mike, what is your must-have on the rider?
I mean, gotta be a bottle of tequila. That's the go-to. It's just
sorry, I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
you're good.
No, you guys are not in a headlock.
A big thing that's becoming is a towel.
Oh, yeah.
Literally a hand towel
Gets hot
for
up
the
there.
sweat.
For the nerves.
There you go. Get me through the first two transitions, and I won't need the towel.
venue
But
doesn't have AC.
especially for a daytime set, I need a hand towel.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to have
sweaty.
to name a song Towels and Tequila.
Hey, no taken from disco.
No, but
Taken
like,
from disco.
it's a different vibe. You
You
know,
know, it's a different vibe.
To each their own.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay, Mike, what is the biggest personal sacrifice you've had to make to pursue music?
Wow, that's a good one. I think part of it was I played college basketball, and the last year, if I would have stayed with the team, I would have had to do another year of school, just for credits and all that. But that was when we agreed on the project and we really started to take it serious. So just kind of stepping away from that, I think that was something that was hard to do, but at the same time, it felt right. So I'd say that, and then just missing some family events, I would say, with certain sets. I have a 4-year-old nephew now and one that's turning 1 on the boat set. I'm going to miss his first birthday.
Is it that day? Nice.
So my sister wasn't too happy about that, but she'll get over it.
Come
But-
Christmas.
That's okay.
He won't remember
Yeah.
it. Don't
That's
worry.
okay.
No, yeah. But yeah, just I would say stuff like that.
Okay. Dom, that was also for you. Feel free to piggyback.
It's 100% some family time. I'm a huge family person. So there's definitely been some times that are, we have to do what we have to do, but there's moments with the fam and with the siblings, I can think about it right now that I've missed, and I'm like, damn, it's tough, but you always you make up for it in some way. The off weekends, I'm with the family, we're with the friends, but it's been family time for sure.
Yeah. It's all about the balance.
First, 100%.
You can't hold yourself back from pursuing something that you really love. Sometimes you have to sacrifice the people you love.
Right, literally, yeah. That's
yeah.
what it came down to. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, to lighten the mood a little bit, Mike, what is a random skill that you have that no one else knows about?
Oh, jeez. Oh, wow. There's... It's funny. There's this one game on Xbox 360 we used to play. It's called Doritos Crash Course. It's like Wipeout, literally the exact type of game like that TV show Wipeout, and I'm weirdly good at it. And that's the only game I would play when we would hang out. I would just play for hours.
Fact.
I got top 20 in the world or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like, where's my medal?
You had some world records. You had some.
Yeah, it was weird.
some world times, I should say.
Kept me busy.
Yeah,
I
100%.
haven't played in a while, so probably that.
And then Dom, what is your fun fact that you share when you're when you were a new or a child in school, when they're oh, share a fun fact about you.
Oh, jeez. Oh.
But now
man.
you can use present day if you have one.
Okay. I mean, it might sound basic, but I took golf very seriously for a long time in my life, to where I almost went to college for it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I looked into it, and so I think a lot of people don't realize I watch a lot of golf. I could talk golf all day long.
What's your score? What's your average?
So my handicap out of high school. Here's a useless fun fact. I was all conference golfer in high school, so there you go. I was a 7 handicap out of high school, so I wasn't good enough to go D1 or anything crazy, but I knew if I would have just gone at it, I could have got a lot better. But the goal is to always shoot in the 70s when we go out.
Hey, that's pretty good.
So yeah, Small useless fact.
His family also owns the best beef shop in Chicago.
Oh, see, that's huge too.
That's
I
something.
usually
Jay's beef.
yeah, Jay's beef.
Hey, we love a beef sandwich.
Yeah. Anytime you guys want
I
to go,
was in here
we'll
just
go.
the other
Dips.
day eating one.
Yeah, dips. Yeah, you like peppers? You want cheese?
Sweet
Yeah, we
peppers
got it.
for real.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, yeah, that was. I worked there all of like high school.
Hey,
so,
Jay's beef.
Jay's
Yeah,
beef.
check
Everybody.
it out. Check it out if you like beef. If you just like Chicago food in general. Harwood Heights, not in the city technically, but take a trip out one day.
Worth it.
Yeah.
We got rated the best beef a couple years ago by WGN. So
Oh, sick.
Oh, wow.
it
Good
was,
job.
we won a competition.
Yeah.
That's
you know?
legit.
So that was. There's another fact.
We're gonna
for
have
you.
to take a trip to the burbs.
yeah, we're
Yeah,
gonna go. We're gonna
absolutely,
go.
100%.
This question is also for both of you. What is the major red flag in producers? Like, you see a producer, what's the red flag?
I think production flow. So like where you start with a song, everyone starts with like either like a kick drum, like just the drums themselves. I don't know. You can start literally anywhere. Like if you have a blank canvas, but I think just like workflow and different sample selection, you can kind of pick up right away if you can tell like they know what they're doing type of thing. But everyone's at their own rate, so I'm not knocking anything like that. But that's where it comes into like everyone has their own style. So it's just weird seeing different styles and sometimes when we're like collaborating with people, like we would do something a certain way, but like they do it a different way. So it's just keeping an open mind like that.
Hey, that beef sandwich thing, though. That's
I'm-
tea.
it's-
It's
I'm
genuinely the best.
like-
Very serious. If we'll go. I'll treat you.
I'll drive.
Yeah, deal.
Please. Biggest red flag for you?
It's I don't know how to like exactly describe it, but it's kind of like the atmosphere in the studio of, obviously we have our own techniques DJing, producing. And, obviously it can be like a little bit of a clash. Like one person does it one way, one does another. So like we kind of will go our separate ways and finish it. But like being in the studio and different vibes are happening, it's kind of like, is it going to be hard to work together in a way? We can get the song done, but it might just have to be kind of like on our own times, So I just think some people
Setting the vibe.
people. Some people are like this, ready to go. Where we're sometimes we're like, hold on, like let's work on this for a second, And so I think getting the vibe in the studio itself is a huge. It's a layout for what's about to happen the rest of the day.
Just kind of like chopping it up before you actually get to work, like catch up on like normal life things instead of just spearheading right away.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that loosens everyone up. Like it creates a much better vibe when it comes to that.
You can tell when it's going to be a little more of a personal experience too. So,
Yeah, I always got confused how collaborations work, especially with two different sounding artists, which typically, do you feel like you guys pressure, or not even pressure is the word, but like push yourself out of the uncomfort zone to collab with somebody that doesn't have a similar sound as you? Or do you feel like that's almost easier to collab with people?
Yeah, we love like testing out all aspects of like the house music scene. So sometimes we'll work with people that make much harder and deeper stuff, and then some will work with like a more euphoric vibe. So we really like kind of dipping our toes into every aspect of the house scene right now. But it keeps your mind open too when you meet someone and for the first time and you don't really know where the studio session is gonna go. But by the end of it, like usually 9 times out of 10, it's a great experience. So just really keeping an open mind with different sounds and styles. So
that's going to help evolve your music too,
Yeah.
to places you never thought it would go. But I do credit a lot to Jake Shore. But when he used to live here, he really helped us get outside our comfort zone. Because he just kind of introduced us to different producing styles, and he was like, "You guys got to really," he never asked us to do things we knew we were completely uncomfortable with, but he's like, "I'm going to push you guys a little bit more," and he did, and it has really helped. We can notice moments where like we're going to be outside our comfort zone here, but it's going to do nothing but help us. So sometimes I think it's hard when you see it coming, or like you might be anxious about like, I don't know what's going to happen here today. But as you really get into the workflow of it, you're like, this is, it's less stressful type of deal.
Yeah, it starts to feel right.
Right, exactly.
Pushing the
And then
boundaries.
you get that workflow where it's just like almost unspoken.
Yeah.
You guys just rip it out.
It's good to have mentors like that
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
some people gatekeep and
Yeah.
other things, especially in this industry. It's like, who's the people that are gatekeeping their stuff, you know?
Exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Having mentors is huge in this industry. So
Well, especially like she said with the gatekeeping, it is like interesting to, I'm sure you've met people where they are a little bit more restricted, but having someone like Jake Shore that's like an open book and not scared of sharing how they grew in addition, because he was pretty small a few years ago as well and has taken off. So it's like you see that his ideas work and that he knows what he's doing. And you're like, wait, I got you in my back pocket right here.
It's a cool thing. It's a cool thing too to see when you start seeing him take off. You're like, okay, what he says is very true and it works. You know what I mean? So seeing that's a big part of it too.
yeah.
Okay, we have one more question for you each individually, and then we'll wrap up that part of it. For Dom, what does success look like for you personally versus professionally?
I think it's internally, personally, like what makes us happy that's what's successful. Like it may not be where you want to be right now, but are you happy with what you're doing and are you happy with what you're putting out? I think for me personally, like that's the satisfaction for me is I fucking love what we do. I love the music we put out and I love the shows we do. It gives that, warm heart feeling inside. Whereas professionally, it's a little bit different because you can get stuck with Mike talked about like the numbers and your streams and this and that. So I think for us, it's the professional goals of, we have goals of labels we want to be on and we want to see that. But personally, it's, are you happy with what you're doing and how you're presenting it? So, and I think that's the biggest satisfaction internally.
Beautiful.
And then, Mike, how do you stay inspired? And do you think that the summertime influences sound reinvention? Or
Yeah, that's
Nice.
Inspiration is, I think, something that's like crucial in this industry and in this scene. Like, I like personally at work, I'll just watch DJ sets, random DJ sets on YouTube, and that's where I get a lot of inspiration, like personally, and especially when seasons are changing. Like from winter, it's more that. I feel like it's more that like underground scene, like that feel, the clubs obviously and all of that. But with summer now, it's more outdoor shows and rooftops and stuff like that. So it's really just adapting to the sound and like the scene as itself. So seeing what sounds are like in right now and kind of how we can put our own touch on that with like what we want to make and what feels right. So just really adapting as the seasons go and just really making sure everything feels right on our end when it comes to like producing and DJing as well. So
When was hypnotherapy produced? Because that puts me on an island
Yeah.
like so bad.
yeah, it's like that
that
tropical
What month
house
were you
kind of.
that
You
was
want to
like-
just drive down like a Hawaiian coast.
that was a great song.
Like 3 years?
2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It was funny because we made that song in like 2 days maybe, and like didn't really think anything of it. But I remember we were standing in our friend's driveway, and I was like to Dom, I'm like, we should put this in the Insomniac like demo submission that we had. So we literally had to log on to like the web SoundCloud browser like on our iPhone to add it to the playlist because we weren't sure when it was going to be listened to because labels take a few weeks to actually listen to demos. So I'm glad we that idea came up in the moment because they ended up signing it, and it was very out of the blue. Like they one day they just emailed us, hey, just want to check back in on like signing hypnotherapy to In Rotation.
That's sick.
Yeah, that was a cool moment. But that's
If you guys could give yourselves like a subgenre, what would you call yourselves?
like
Yeah.
Dom's over there.
Such a good question.
You're like,
the
wait.
genre of
Like
music.
I feel like nowadays there's just so many genres, you
Yeah.
know, like they're kind of coming out of the woodworks everywhere. So if you could create your own subgenre that would be your style of music, what would it be called?
simple as like
I know.
tech deep house, I
Like
think.
minimal,
Because there's like
yeah.
tech house and then there's deep house, but I think we kind of blend those
Tech
two.
house in the deep.
Tech deep house. Deep tech house, either way.
Yeah.
Either way you want to put it,
Deep in the tech.
for sure. Yeah, we dip in both. So that middle ground, if we can find a word for it.
People always
Yeah.
talk about like finding your sound as an artist, but like we experiment so much with different genres, so we're always bouncing. Like literally 2 days ago, we made something very like euphoric and had a really good vibe, and then yesterday we made something that was just like very deep and like club friendly. So we're just bouncing back and forth, but I think we do a pretty good job of blending the genres together and just making it our own. It feels like our own stuff, but
As someone
Yeah.
who has seen your set, yes, that's very true.
start off groovy and then
It
Yeah.
works. It works. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
So kind of diving into that, if anybody listening right now like wanted to kind of start their music journey or is stuck on something, like what advice would you give to them
It's a good
towards this
question.
journey?
Yeah. I think, starting out, just
Go ahead.
put out your music, no matter how good or bad it is, really. I think people get in their heads too much about, like, okay, this song isn't good enough to release, so I'm just going to let it rot on the hard drive and never see the light of day. So, like, there have been songs, because you can always delete it later on. Like, we've deleted many previous releases that were like, I can't believe we put this out, but no, I think just putting out music, keep experimenting, and like you'll find what you like eventually. So just doubling down on that and trusting the process. So
Believe in yourself. Buy in to everything. Just go all in. And like you said, release the music. You do not know how anyone's going to react to it if you just keep holding on to music. You know, like friends that I have just send us music, and it's like, what are you going to do with this? I don't know. Release it. Why don't you release it? Like you love it, so then put it. It's the only way you're going to get feedback. It's the only way you're going to gain confidence. You just have to believe in yourself, and you have to put it out there. It's scary. It's scary, but once you get over that hump, you know, it's like I have the confidence. I know what I want to do. I know what I want to make, and I'm going to go all for it. So that's the only way you're going to actually know the path you want to go down.
Beautiful.
I have a question. So as Kayla and I are a little bit more in like the dubstep realm.
Yes, you are.
What has it ever interested you in like trying to dip your toes into that side of the scene, or like just pushing the boundaries of your production end to like see if you could?
in like the dubstep scene, honestly, not really, but like
Not
the
even like
bass-
melodic dub type stuff. Like
See,
where
like
it's-
that stuff's not bad.
Not bad.
That's like, I think those are great shows to be at live, so you can like actually like feel everything. I personally love like bass music, or if you know who Liney is, like
Yeah.
we opened for him when he was like smaller. It was a few years ago. It was in like a debonair basement, and it was
that was gritty.
yeah,
That was great.
But like that type of music, like I love that,
Yeah,
like
the
trap,
trap,
like
yeah.
bass.
Yeah.
Well, that goes back to the hip hop roots and
Yeah,
everything like that.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just like it's refreshing, and now like house DJs are starting to drop bass songs in their sets, and like we've done it a few times, and it always gets a really good reaction.
Yeah.
So
Have you ever thought about making a trap song or anything like that, just to like push yourselves?
yeah, not recently, but like the more we think about it, like the more we want to. So I think eventually this year we'll definitely dabble. with
Yeah,
it.
I don't know if you ever see us like release anything like that, but we would. I mean, never say never.
Sprinkle in a
But
set.
you know, yeah, it's something. You always want to fine tune like your range. You always just want to be able, because that also helps with the exact genre you make. Like it opens your mind a little bit more to the sounds. But I just think the biggest thing too is like we never really like listened to it as we were coming up. Like it was just house.
Yeah.
So we're just not as like big on it and educated on it as we should be. But
I remember seeing you.
yeah, I'll never forget North Coast, like 2 or 3 years. We Sudden Death Void. Mike and I were like, all right, we got to be able to say we seen a Void set. Be able to see we've been there. I had my pashmina on. Like I was in the crowd. I'm thousands of people. You come walking by and you go, Mike, Dom, what are you doing? You're house heads. And we were like, stay there, like stop. No one needs to know that.
I was really like, wait, what's going on?
We're trying to expand here. And we lasted about like 30 minutes.
Honestly, no hate, no
research
shade to
purposes.
sudden death, but the void sets are built different.
They are.
I'm
Those
pretty
are
sure
crazy.
right after I ran into you guys, I was like, yeah, I gotta go.
Literally, it was just
I'm
like,
gonna be at the stadium.
yeah, it was like, what are you doing here? We're like, I don't know. You're like, I don't know. I got to go too. I'm like, all right, well, good luck out there.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I'll never forget that. That was great. That was awesome.
All right, you guys are both stuck in an elevator. Who's inside of it? You guys got so
jeez.
stuck.
Like,
Like who
Like a
else is
person?
inside of it?
Who's inside of it?
With
Oh,
you.
with us? I thought you meant which one of us is stuck
The
in the
way you
elevator. I
said
was
that
like,
was actually. You're in an elevator. Who's in it? Us. But who's stuck with you?
anybody or like
Anyone.
like music?
like who
Music.
would usually be? Oh,
How about
music,
both?
Okay.
Okay, music. I'm gonna say Martin Garrix because that was my guy growing up. Like college, we just blasted throughout the house. I would pick his brain like crazy in that elevator.
You gotta pop out to his Red Rock show.
You are?
I might.
Oh, I thought
Who knows?
that I'd do anything because I wanted to see him at Spring Awakening a couple
But
years
we
ago, and he
bought
broke his
tickets for
foot.
Yeah.
And like Cascade Replacement was a great show, but I'm like, I literally bought these tickets for Martin Garrix.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of unfinished business with him. So
We gotta talk about this.
it still gets to me, as you can see. But he would be the music side of things I would want in that elevator.
Probably Chris Lake for me.
Yeah.
I think he's just like, he really does it for like the love of the game. He's even said like, he doesn't make music for external validation or any stuff like that. Like, he just does it because he loves it, and I think it's so genuine, especially at the level he's at right now. And he's like a mastermind producer, so I think that would be fun just to pick his brain and just he's a very nice guy too. It seems like so. That would be a good time.
Outside of music, though, for me, I think I have fears of getting stuck in elevators. So,
Same.
so having like Conor McGregor in there, who would probably make it so funny, and make me not realize I'm stuck in an elevator. Conor McGregor would be really fun to be stuck in an elevator with, I think.
But also that UFC.
Yeah, there you go. Teach me a few things here. Come on.
Got time. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Isn't he martial arts or MMA?
Yeah.
MMA, but they've been into like the combat stuff, so it'd be like
Yeah.
such a good
Yeah,
crossover.
exactly. 100%. It's a great question, honestly. There's a lot of
Derrick
people.
Rose for me. I think he
Oh,
was like
sick.
such a legend growing up in Chicago basketball.
Yeah.
That would be great. That would
It's
be
a good
awesome.
elevator.
We would just hype him up the whole time, honestly, if he was in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys were not playing North Coast, would you be at ARC, or are you going to ARC? Separate
Well,
from your guys'
Or are you
set
going
at
to North Coast? What are you doing?
We'll go to both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for
Okay.
sure. I think we're playing Saturday North Coast, so we'll make our way to ARC.
Yeah.
One of the 3 days, but
Have to.
yeah, it's such a good weekend for
Yeah.
Chicago in general. Just like those are two just great festivals to be at, and yeah, I just think everyone just comes together then, and it's always a really good vibe.
Yeah, we're spoiled.
And I was about to say, any Chicago festival, like we try to make our way to it, no matter what day it is, where we're playing. It's too hard to miss.
Do you have any festivals planned outside of Chicago this year so far, or that you're attending, even maybe not playing?
Nothing
Yet.
yeah.
No.
A lot of
Last
the
minute
festivals
sign.
they do their bookings, feels like almost a year in advance. So, like if you kind of got to get on it early to be considered. So, we're just kind of preparing for like next summer.
year,
almost.
yeah.
I always have to keep looking ahead.
Yeah.
Especially in this industry with like future shows that get announced. Because like the calendar gets booked up so quick with like Oris and Collective, like they book out very far.
Yeah,
in
now that
advance.
they're doing everything with Insomniac, like
Yeah,
Beyond
that too,
Wonderland and
yeah.
everything, it's just ever expanding,
Yep.
but it opens the door for more opportunities.
Our motto is 6 months ahead. Like, wait, what's in 6 months? What
Yeah.
do we need to inquire about? Anything that gets, announced to, and it's like 5 months away. That's your time to get in. Be like, hey, I know you're probably not worrying about like support right now, but we'd love to, just immediately be at like the top of that list of them. So when they start thinking about support, they're like, oh yeah, PODS reached out to us. That's right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's always be ahead. Always.
Yeah. That's a major life motto for in general.
Yeah, not even
always
music.
look ahead.
Yeah, anything. Always be 2 steps ahead.
Are you
But
guys
stay
going to
present still.
Festivals? Do you have
Yeah,
festivals?
we have a few.
We have a few. I probably will be at Beyond
I won't be.
for a
I would go to
second.
that, yeah.
We're doing Electric
Beyond is fun though.
Forest.
Did you guys go last year?
We did.
Yeah, the mud and all.
Yeah,
I had a great
poured.
time.
Yeah, I thought I had a raincoat on, and it was not a rain. It was a windbreaker, and I was soaked the
Oh
entire
my
time.
god.
But I feel like part of the fun is dancing in
was,
the
yeah.
rain.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
I'm not gonna lie.
No, yeah, it was
100%.
fun.
That was fun.
Were you guys at the heat wave last or 2 years ago when
Yep.
it was
Oh,
like
freezing.
one day was beautiful and the next day was like a freaking windstorm?
Yeah.
I think we were there for the beautiful day. We were
I
not
was there
for
the beautiful day,
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
I
it
bought a
was-
1-day ticket.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that was sick. I hope they bring back Heatwave, honestly. I feel like that was a super cool festival
Yeah, it
for
was cool.
Chicago.
Short-lived.
The big ass
Yeah, it was
duck
fun.
like right in the middle too. Like, it was cool. It was fun. It was
They
fun.
already I mean, personal opinion, but it was like first year they had, was the first year Grizz? Or
No, Grizz was the
Zed?
second year.
Okay.
Zed
It was like
the
Zed
first year.
Zed and Tiesto.
They did Tiesto both years.
And then second year was Grizz and also Tiesto again. Like, I don't think you guys can put bigger or
Yeah.
better
They-
headliners for us.
They had some good lineups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was small. I feel like even how the stages were set up there, everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, it's gonna be terrible," but they've worked it out
Yeah,
really well.
They didn't bleed.
Yeah,
too
at
bad into
all,
each
yeah.
other. That's always an issue with.
Where Beyond was a
festivals.
little bit, if you stood in the middle, it was kind of like a trap of sound. But when they did the North Coast there that one year, I was like, okay, I kind of had an idea of what to expect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up the episode, do you guys have any last final things that we did not ask about that you feel compelled to share?
I think just we're gonna be consistently releasing music every month. That's a goal we have this year. Is like at least one release, whether it's a SoundCloud remix or an original. Just keep an eye out for all of that. I think really shows our progression as artists. Because a lot of the music that gets released, it's sometimes like made months before it actually comes out. So just a constant progression. Like we feel like we're getting better and getting in a good spot with where our sound's at, and just really kind of putting the foot on the gas this year and really trying to level up each year. So
Oh, that's it. Foot on the gas. Look out for it. We don't want to look back. So we're not going to. So
got some good shows lined up too.
absolutely.
So
Yeah.
it'll be a fun,
You got-
fun year.
Nothing more. You guys did your homework. That was fantastic
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If someone wanted to go look you guys up right now, where can they find you and what song should they listen to first?
That's always a question we talk about
on the way here.
Well, our handle is at PODS Music on everything, I believe.
Yep.
So yeah, we stay consistent with posting. I think we got some good stuff in the pipeline right now, especially with different projects. And then for song, I think Set You Free is a good,
Yeah.
or Power to the People.
Yeah.
Blueprint.
Yes. Also, yeah, I was about to say, depending on your vibe, Poison is a really good starting point as well. Even into like Get Down and then Hypno and then get into like Let Go. If you kind of go that range, you'll see the range we get into. You know, from
A lot of range.
super like beautiful to a little more deep. But maybe start with Poison and then work your way up a little bit.
Yeah. Those are beautiful.
Thank
The
you.
hypnotherapy, man, it
Yeah.
gets me every time I listen to it. That's one of
Definitely.
my
Hey, Get
favorites.
Down has me getting down.
Yeah, Get Down is good too.
Thank you.
So with that, we'll let the listeners pick their poison on which songs they want to listen to, because all of them are great. But we want to say thank you guys for sharing the energy and the journey behind the PODS project and PODS nickname. We love you guys and are really grateful that you came on to talk with us. We're excited to see all the big things that you do this summer and attend most of them as well. But we know you'll continue to go far and thrive, and we're excited to see the journey.
Yeah, thank you guys for having us.
We
Yes,
we
thank
love you
you.
guys too. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Thank you for
It's been an
being
honor.
here.
Thank
If you guys are in the Chicagoland area, they are playing at Recess tomorrow, and next week they have the yacht party, and then it's Summertime Shy. So stay tuned and make sure you go give them a follow. And thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. And this was Mindful Mayhem.
Mindful Mayhem. Bye.